Where is the life that we have lost in living? Where is the wisdom we have lost in knowledge? Where is the knowledge we have lost in information? The cycles of heaven in 20 centuries bring us farther from God and nearest to the dust.
The eagle soars in the summit of heaven. The hunter with his dogs pursues his circuit. Oh, perpetual revolution of configured stars. Oh, perpetual recurrence of determined seasons. Ooh, world of spring and autumn, birth and dying, the endless cycles of idea and action. Endless invention, endless experiment brings knowledge of motion, but not of stillness, knowledge of speech, but not of silence, knowledge of words and ignorance of the word. All our knowledge brings us nearer to our ignorance. All our ignorance brings us nearer to death. But nearness to death, no, nearer to God. Where is the life that we have lost in living? Where is the wisdom we have lost in knowledge? Where is the knowledge we have lost in information? The cycles of heaven in 20 centuries brings us farther from God and nearer to the dust. And nearer to the dust. I journeyed to London, to the time-kept city where the river flows, and there I was told we have too many churches. Men do not need the church in the place where they work, but where they spend their Sundays. In the city we need no bells, let them wake in the suburbs. I journeyed to the suburbs, and there I was told We toil for 6 days. On the 7th, if the weather is foul, we stay at home and read the papers. In industrial districts, there I was told of economic laws. In the pleasant countryside, there it seemed that the country now is only fit for picnics. And the church doesn't seem to be wanted in country or in suburbs. And in the town, only for important weddings. I journeyed to London, to the time-kept city where the river flows. And there I was told, we have too many churches. Men do not need the church in the place where they work, but where they spend their Sundays. In the city we need no bells, let them wake in the suburbs. I journeyed to the suburbs, and there I was told, we toil for 6 days. On the 7th, if the weather is foul, we stay at home and read the papers. In industrial districts, there I was told of economic laws. In the pleasant countryside, there it seemed that the country now is only fit for picnics. And the church does not seem to be wanted in country or in suburbs. And in the town, only for important weddings. I journeyed to London, to the time-kept city where the river flows. There I was told we have too many churches. Men do not need the church in the place where they work, but where they spend their Sundays. In the city we need no bells, let them wake in the suburbs. I journeyed to the suburbs. There I was told we toil for 6 days. On the 7th, if the weather is foul, we stay at home. The lot of man is ceaseless labor or ceaseless idleness, which is still harder, or irregular labor, which is not pleasant. I have trodden the winepress alone, and I know it is hard to be really useful, resigning the things that men count for happiness, seeking good deeds that lead to obscurity, accepting with equal face those that bring ignominy. The applause of all or the love of none. I say to you, may perfect your will. I say, take no thought of the harvest. But only of proper sowing. The world turns and the world changes, but one thing does not change. In all of my years, one thing does not change. However you disguise it, this thing does not change. The perpetual struggle of good and evil. The men you are in these times deride what has been done of good. The desert is not remote in southern tropics. The desert is not only around the corner. The desert is squeezed in the tube train next to you. The desert is in the heart of your brother. The good man is the builder. If he build what is good, I will show you the things that are now being done. And some of the things that were done long ago, that you may take heart, make perfect your will. Listen. Listen. In the vacant places, we will build with new brick. There are hands and machines, and and lime for new mortar. Where the bricks are fallen, we will build with new stone. Where the beams are rotten, we will build with new timber. Where the word is unspoken, we will build with new speech. There is work together, a church for all and a job for each. The river flows and the seasons turn. The sparrow and starling have no time to waste. If men do not build, where shall they live? When the field is tilled and the wheat is bred, they shall not die in a short tin bed and a narrow sheet. In this street, there is no beginning.
There's no beginning,
No movement, no peace and no end.
peace and no end.
We will build
Not without speech,
the beginning and the end of this street.
without delay, without delay.
We build the meaning, a church for all and a job for each. Every man to his word. Back to work.
In this street,
there is no beginning,
there's no beginning,
no movement,
no movement,
peace and no end.
peace and no end.
We would build
Not without speech,
the beginning and the end
food without taste,
of this street.
without delay, without delay.
We build the meaning, a church for all and a job for each. Every man to his work. Grazie. Thank you. A pickaxe and a spade and a shrouding sheet. You start in the morning, time. You've had your little snack, time. Blow, time. Dinner, time. Quit, time. Building.
A pickaxe and a spade. A pickaxe and a spade.
A pickaxe and a spade. A bar, a spade,
A pickaxe and a spade.
a shrouding sheet, a church.
A pickaxe and a
You
spade.
start in the morning, time,
A pickaxe and a spade.
Time. time,
Time.
building. A pickaxe and a spade, a bank, a bar, a spade and a shrouding sheet.
Time.
You try putting in an extra 10 minutes every night in the cause of God and see how you get on.
Pickaxe and a spade.
Time, building, a pickaxe and a
pickaxe
spade,
and a spade.
a bank,
A
a
pickaxe and a
bar,
spade.
a spade and a shrouding
A
sheet.
pickaxe and a spade.
Makes no
A pickaxe
difference.
and a spade.
A church,
A
a
pickaxe and a
bank, a
spade.
bar.
A pickaxe and
Money's
a
all the
spade.
same, so it's
A
all the same
pickaxe
to
and a
me.
spade. A
pickaxe and a spade.
A pickaxe and a spade.
A bank,
A
a
pickaxe
bar,
and
a
a
spade and a
pickaxe
shrouding
and a
sheet.
spade.
A
A
church,
pickaxe and a spade. A pickaxe and a
Time.
spade.
Time.
A
Building.
pickaxe and a spade.
A pickaxe and a spade.
A pickaxe
A
and a
bank.
spade.
A bar, a spade and a shrouding sheet. A church. You try putting in an extra 10 minutes every night in the cause of God and see how you get on. Time, building, a pickaxe and a spade, a spade and a shrouding sheet. A church, it makes no difference. A church, a bar, a bank.
A pickaxe and a spade. A pickaxe and a spade.
The money's all the same.
A pickaxe and a spade. 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 A pickaxe and a spade.
Pickaxe and a spade. A spade, a shrouding sheet. You try putting in an extra 10 minutes every night in the cause of God and see how you get on. Time, building,
A pickaxe and a spade. 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 A pickaxe and a spade.
Ordinary.
A pickaxe and a spade. 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 A The money is all the same, so it's all the same to me.
Friends, I want your attention for a moment. Do you see that building that's going up over there?
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what it is? Do you think they're putting up decent habitations for people like you and me? Not much of that. And then something less. That's a church.
No.
That is. And what's a church, you ask? It's a place where they practice a degrading and outward superstition, an abomination that ought to be swept off the face of the earth in these enlightened times. Did you ever hear of Darwin? Your words, O rock, are of little consolation, seeing that the times are evil, of many theories and of evil practice, when the great sit helpless in their seats, and the humble stand helpless at corners. The upper classes are indifferent. The middle classes are complacent and self-righteous. The lower classes are ruined. You speak to good purpose, yet much is needed now. For weapons in fear of wars, for education, to see that all are fed and housed. Why build that church on a bleeding swamp like this? You can't build something without something to build on. They think you can take any piece of ground and do anything with it. Look here. The water's got in again. This place is nothing but a sponge. These foundations aren't strong enough to set a cup on. You can't build something without something to build on. A little piece of decent soil would do us good. Why build that church on a bleeding swamp like this? There is no money for building churches. Mankind has made a lot of progress since the old days of religion. Become more human, so to speak. In the old days, there were no sciences, no education. People were simple-minded. Religion served the purpose of everything. There weren't any theaters or any music but singing hymns. And there weren't any newspapers. People couldn't read or write anyway. And when a man was broken, there was nowhere else to go for help, but only to the church. In those times, there was a lot to be said for churches. But all that is past and done with. The future has already happened.
Thus your fathers were made fellow citizens of the saints, of apostles and prophets. But have you built well now that you sit helpless in a ruined house? Where many are born to idleness, to frittered lives and squalid deaths, embittered scorn in honey hives. And those who would build turn out the palms of their hands, or look in vain towards foreign lands for alms to be more. You sit ashamed and wonder whether and how you may be builded together in spirit which moved on the face of the waters like a lantern on the back of a tortoise. How can we love our neighbors? We have only our labor to give, and our labor is not required. We wait street on corners with nothing to bring but the songs we can sing, which nobody wants sung, waiting to be flung in the end on a heap less useful than dung. Have you built well? Have you forgotten
right relations of men, but not of relations
all
of
that
men
was
God.
done in the past? You eat the fruit either rotten or ripe.
And the churchman,
For all that was good, you have the inheritance. For all that was ill, we may prepare if we walk together. And all that was good, we must fight to keep with hearts as devoted as those who fought to gain it. What life have you if you have not life together? There is no life that is not in community. The days and nights repeat the praise of God. And now we live dispersed on the ribbon roads, and no man knows who is his neighbor. All dashed to and fro, familiar with the roads, and settled nowhere. So much decay, much to rebuild, much to restore. Let the work not delay, let the saw cut the stone. Let the fire not be quenched in the forge.
What is the meaning of this city?
What is the meaning of this city?
Do you huddle close together because you love one another? Do you think that faith has conquered the world? Do you need to be told that whatever has been can still be? Do you need to be told that all the things which you have attained and boast about will hardly survive the faith to which they owe their significance? When the stranger says, "What is the meaning of this city?" What will you answer? Do we all dwell together to make money from each other? But this is a community.
Oh Lord, deliver me from the man of excellent intentions and impure heart, for the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Preserve me from the enemy who has something to gain, and from the friend who has something to lose. We are encompassed with snakes and dogs. Those who sit in a house of which the use is forgotten are like snakes that lie on moldering stairs, content in the sunlight. And others run about like dogs, howling, searching, full of enterprise. They say, "This house is a nest of serpents. Let us destroy it and have done with these abominations." But these are not justified. And we write and publish, being too vain and distracted for silence.
You see, friends, it's no use talking to people like that. They're too old. and too ignorant. We appeal to the young amongst you, the hopeful, the fresh and vital, the visionaries. Our verse is free. Be free, and we'll all think like free people do. Millions and millions, all working, all loving. We can laugh at God.
He is young with a very intelligent face. The right of some is the wrong of others. The right of some is the left of others. It is best we suspend judgment.
Not for ourselves do we mourn, but for the unborn. We hear the wailing of souls that are not yet conceived, of parents and grandparents still to be born. Is there no hope for them beyond what our eyes have seen? For state, for liberty I stand.
I heard the drinking water's not so good in foreign countries, not like our water.
Why build a church on a bleeding swamp like this? A crowded neighborhood full of poor people, bad as can be. We could turn God into ridicule. We could turn all these churches into clubs, museums, everything useful for our people, restaurants. These foundations aren't strong enough to set a cap on. You can't build something without something to build on. And every time you can see your way to heaving a brick through one of these stained glass windows, you'll be doing a service to humanity. When everything is quiet, you go in, you mess the place up as much as you can.
Why should men love the church? Why should they love her laws? She tells them of life and death and of all that they would forget. She's tender where they would be hard where they like to be soft. She tells them of evil and sin and other unpleasant facts. They constantly try to escape from the darkness outside and within by dreaming of systems so perfect that no one will need to be good.
Why should men love the church? Why should they love her laws? She tells them of life and death and all that they would forget. She's tender where they would be hard where they like to be soft. She tells them of evil and sin and all other unpleasant facts. They constantly try to escape from darkness outside and within by dreaming of systems so perfect that no one will need to be good.
But the man that is will shadow the man that pretends to be. The Son of Man was not crucified, the blood of the martyrs not shed, the light of the saints not given once for all.
humans without to destroy you. Spies and self-seekers within, seeking everyone after his own elevation and dodging his emptiness. Do you think that faith has conquered the world? What does the world say? Has faith failed mankind, or has mankind failed faith? Remember, in every moment of time you live where two worlds cross. Living in time, you must also live in eternity.
Oh, my soul. In the beginning, God created the world, and there was darkness, darkness on the face of the deep. And when there were men, in their various ways, they struggled in torment towards God. They followed the light, and the shadow, worshipping snakes or trees, devils rather than nothing, crying for life beyond life, for ecstasy not of the flesh, and darkness, darkness on the face of the deep. And the spirit moved on the face of the water, and men who turned towards the light were known of the light, and led men from light to light, to knowledge of good and evil. But the light was ever surrounded and shot with darkness, and it came to an end. I didn't stand with the flicker of life, and it came to the withered ancient look of a child that has died of starvation, denial of this world, affirmation of rights with forgotten meanings, and darkness, darkness on the face of deep. Passion, sacrifice for proceeds from light to light, the light of the world that vision blind as ever before. Yet always struggling, so much struggling, on our march on the way that was lit by the light, often straying, oh delaying, yet following no other way. And it seems something has happened that has never happened before, and we know not just when, why, how, or where. Men have left God, not for the gods, they say, but for no God. And this has never happened before. But for no God,
God, and this has never happened before.
Sure is strange not to be working on this church anymore.
It feels lonesome, doesn't it?
We put upon God our own sorrow, the grief we might feel for our own faults and sins. Remember that a temple is forever building,
Forever to be destroyed.
forever to be restored.
So that we may remember
Seeing the past,
The dim waste plains of the future.
the lives that await their time to be born.
My ears have heard in the distance
the wailing of the plague-stricken city,
the parting of husbands and wives,
of parents and children,
and the creaking of loaded carts
which bear them to a common pit.
and over all
Wandering
Preachers' voices in lunatic prophecy.
And now a great fire has ravaged the city,
and over the coals.
as the phoenix, the spirit of new life and creation.
The city of my fantasy will not be made real upon earth,
Squalor and filth
and houses for desolate lives
will survive me. And
And monsters with horrid heads will raise themselves long after we are gone.
It is so with all human imaginings. The work of creation is never without travail.
Strange, out of sight of stones falling from the top of the steeple always makes me feel ill.
You speak of your church, you have spoken well. But where we dwell there is no temple. They are the temple,
And here is night no more.
but only light.
Light, light,
of the light.
It would be beautiful if it were true. Oh, Father, we welcome your words, and we will take heart for the future, remembering the past. The heathen have come into thine inheritance, thy temple have they defiled. There came only one who spoke of the shame of the holy places defiled, scourging with words among his hearers were a few good men, many who were evil and most who were neither, like all men in all places. Some went from love of glory, some were restless and curious, some were rapacious and lustful. Living on, sunken in moral corruption, many came back well, broken, diseased and beggared, finding a stranger at the door, in possession, despite of all the dishonor. The broken standards, the broken lives, the broken faith. In one place or another, there was something left that was more. Only the faith could have done what was good. Whole faith of a few part faith of many, not avarice, lechery, treachery, envy, gluttony, greed, jealousy, pride. It was not these that made us, but these that unmade us. Remember the faith that took men from home at the call of a wandering preacher. Our age is an age of moderate virtue and of moderate vice. When men will not lay down the cross because they will never pick it up. But nothing is impossible, nothing to men of faith and conviction. Let us therefore make perfect our will. Oh God, help us.
That men both deny gods and worship gods, professing first reason and then money and power and what they call life or race or dialectic. The church disowned, the tower overthrown, the bells upturned. What have we to do?
No man has hired us with pocketed hands and lowered faces. We stand about in open places and shiver in unlit rooms. Only the whim of our empty fields until where the plow rests out and then go to the furrow.
In this street, there is no beginning. In this street, no peace and no end.
In this land, no man has hired us. Our life is unwelcomed, our death unmentioned in the times. In
In this street, there is no beginning. In this street, no peace and no end.
No man has hired us. What does the world say? Has faith failed mankind?
What is the meaning of
Or has mankind failed faith? Forget your glories and quarrels. Forget your groups and misplaced ambitions. We speak to you as individuals, individuals alone with God. Your God, you say, fight for you and strengthen you. But I tell you, your God is not only your God, He's the God of all. God doesn't fight for you, except you fight for God. God is the God of your enemies. God would see all at peace with one another. You must not think whether God be for you, but whether you be for God. What goes up and up in the sky, and on through the years, and speaks in the night, and stands when you and I are dust. We who build on forever and ever.
forever and ever, ever and forever and ever. Behold with thine eyes, and hear with thine ears. Set thine heart upon all that I show thee.
Who's this that has said?
Who is this that has said?
The house of God is a house.
The house of God is a house of sorrow.
We must go between them.
We must go between empty walls, wavering lowly, whispering faintly. The soul of man was quickened to creation
Out of the formless stone.
out of the formless stone. From the soul of man joined to the soul of stone. Joined with the artist's eye. New life, new form, new color. Out of the sea of sound, the life of music. Out of the mud of words, the beauty of incantation. For life, for dignity. For grace and order. For the Lord that created us must wish us to create and employ our creation again in service. You have seen the house built. You have seen it adorned by one who came in the night. It is now dedicated to God, now a visible church. One more light set on a hill. In a world confused and dark and disturbed by portents of fear, what shall we say of the future? Is one church all we can build? Or shall this visible church go on to conquer the world? The great snake lies ever half away at the bottom of the pit of the world, curled hunger and moving his head from right and to the left, prepares for his hour to devour. But the mystery of iniquity is a pit too deep for mortal eyes to plumb. Come ye out from among those who prize the serpent's golden eyes, the worshippers, self-given sacrifice of the snake. Take your way and be ye separate. Be not too curious of good and evil. Seek not to count the future waves of time, but be ye satisfied that you have light enough to take your step and find your foothold. O light invisible, we praise thee. Too bright for mortal vision, O greater light, we praise thee for the less. All the eastern lights, our spires touch at morning, the light that slants upon our western doors, the twilight over stagnant pools at bat flight. Oh, moonlight and starlight, owl and moth light, glowworm, glow light on a grass blade. Oh, light invisible, we worship thee. We thank thee for the lights that we have kindled, the light of altar and of sanctuary, the smaller lights of those who meditate at midnight, and the lights reflected from the colored panes of windows, and lights reflected from the polished stone, the gilded carven wood, the colored fresco. Our gaze is submarine, our eyes look upwards. We see the light that fractures from unquiet waters. We see the light, but not from whence it comes. Oh, light invisible. Oh, light invisible. Oh, light invisible. We glorify thee. Grazie. Grazie di stare con noi. Oh, thank you for staying with us. Sorry, I was speaking Italian. A message from Mr. Eliot. I wait so it goes well with the music. Yeah. In our rhythm of earthly life, we tire of the light. We are glad when the day ends, when the play ends, and ecstasy is too much pain. We are children quickly tired, children who are up in the night and fall asleep as the rocket is fired. And the day is long for work or play. We tire of distraction and concentration. We sleep, and we are glad to sleep, controlled by the rhythm of blood and the day and the night and the seasons. And we must extinguish the candle, put out the light and relight it. Forever we must quench, forever relight the flame. And therefore we thank thee for our little light that is dappled with shadow. We thank thee who hast moved us to building, to finding, to forming at the ends of our fingers and the beams of our eyes. And when we have built an altar to the invisible light, we may set thereon the little lights for which our bodily vision is made. And we thank thee that darkness reminds us of the light. Oh, light invisible, we give thee thanks for thy great glory. Be not too curious of good and evil. Seek not to count the future capture waves of time. But be satisfied. You have light enough to take your step and find your foothold. Oh, light invisible, we praise thee. Too bright for mortal vision. Oh, greater light, we praise thee for the less. Oh, the eastern lights, our spires touch at morning. The light that slants upon our western doors. The twilight over stagnant pools at bad flight. Oh, moonlight and starlight, owl and moth light, glowworm, glow light on a grass blade. Oh, light invisible, oh, light invisible, we worship thee. We thank thee for the lights that we have kindled, the light of altar, the light of sanctuary, the small lights of those who meditate at midnight, and the lights reflected from the colored panes of windows, the lights reflected from the polished stone, the gilded carven wood, the colored fresco. Oh, light invisible. Oh, light invisible. Oh, light invisible. We give thee thanks.
Grazie, thank you. Thank you. Dai, introductions. You know everybody. Heather Powey on violin. John Cruth on almost everything. Our DJ, Ashley Martin. Maestro Claudio Scarabottini. Maria Irene Minelli. E Davide Tassi.
And ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jared McNeill.
Thank you to all of you. Thank you to New York Encounter. Thank you to the Metropolitan Pavilion, all the technicians. You're all so wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Good night.